Hi, everybody. I'm here again with Dana. Hi, Dana.
Hey, Steve, we're back for more comments, aren't we?
Yep. This is yet another batch of comment responses that we recorded to responding to comments that people left on our videos we did about Batman and
Yay! Thank you so much, folks.
yep and just so we're clear, and I
hmm
mentioned this last time, and I just want to make sure that you didn't forget that. I mean, these
Wait,
are
wait, forget what?
this is the last batch of these comments. Like, we're done responding to comments after this.
No, we're not. We're-
For this bat, I mean, we'll probably do this again at some point in the future.
in the
But for
future.
now,
When?
oh, I don't know. I mean, we'll
You don't know?
we'll have to make some more videos together for people to comment on, and then we can respond to those comments. So they know maybe a couple of months.
A couple of months, Jesus. I mean, we you have we could go back to your whirlpool videos and pull comments from those.
You want the two of us to do comment response videos to my Whirlpool videos?
We could do that. I think that would be great, a great series because
Dana,
I would be a fresh set of eyes reading the comments, and I would give a different perspective.
Dana,
Yeah,
you assured me last time that this was not a problem, that you
it's
had
not
this
a
under
problem.
control.
You've done how many seasons have you done of the Whirlpool?
Two,
See, we've got two whole how many episodes per season?
24.
Oh my god. There's got to be lots of comments on there. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this for like ever. We'll never run out of comments.
Okay.
It'll be fine. It's all good.
Okay.
There's lots of comments there. We can do those.
hmm Okay. Let's do these comments first, and then we'll get to
Okay.
the and then we'll have a little talk at the end. Okay.
Okay. Okay. That sounds great. That sounds great.
Okay. Here we go.
Here we go.
And now we come to the comments that have been left on the first Batman video that we did together, which was about the many masks of Batman. And the first comment from that video that we're going to talk about is from Precambrian Lullaby, who says, Batman kills the Joker in that book. Speaking of the killing joke. No one seems to get that. It was overlooked for the sake of revenue, but it's a thing that happened. The joke that finally drew him to kill. Count the streams of laughter. The Joker is dead, yo. Poor Barbara. Also, you still need to read The White Knight that informs us of Dr. Quinzel and tells of their truly insane relationship.
I don't know if you can just go by the fact that they eventually stop laughing
Yeah,
as the Joker being dead. I think that's a stretch.
I
I
think so. I think so too.
I think that is a potential interpretation, and I think it's mentioned more than once in the comments. I think that is fanon, and
I agree.
I do not think that is majority fanon either. Um,
No,
I
it's.
will
I've
say,
heard it before. I've heard people say that before, but I don't get that from that story at all. And I don't think that's where we're being led as the readers.
yes, I don't think that is the intent. I don't think that it was just, in terms of production, that was just something that they sort of overlooked. I do not think that was the intent of the writers or the artists or the production team or anybody. But I do think it is an understandable reading. It is not without some textual evidence. Um, and you could certainly argue that Batman has some justification for feeling that way,
Yeah.
for being led to that. And I would say, oh, how I wish that had been the case. And that was the last Joker story that got told. But unfortunately, that has not been the case. And we've been stuck with a whole bunch more of them. He got his own freaking movie. Whatever.
Oscar-winning movie.
I don't care. I'm going to kill him.
You can't.
Eventually.
You can't wait.
Well, yes, I can.
Well, that's true. Actually, well, you can, but in a way, but I mean, I think it's worth pointing out, even though the story isn't finished and probably won't be finished for a while,
A
um,
long time.
the story that sort of led to us creating our own fanfic universe is that story that you started as your "I'm going to kill the
The
Joker" story.
Joker dies.
Yeah.
That
So
one and that one and Damian Wayne. Never exist in our world.
you get some of your best ideas from your desire to kill off characters you don't like,
Or prevent from, although
or
I guess
prevent them from being born. Next comment is from Ewan Smith, who says, "How about the Matches Malone personality, where Batman gets to cosplay as a villain to a certain extent? I presume that Matches Malone must actually pull off some genuine crimes to maintain his bona fides in the underworld. I guess he could target Wayne Enterprises property, so he is only stealing from himself." And yes, we forgot to mention Matches when we were sort of going through the various different masks, the different faces of Batman.
we forget Matches Malone.
I know. He's so much fun.
He really is.
It's, yeah. Which, that's another thing that I'm pretty sure that comes from the 70s. That might also be taken from my beloved Englehart and Rogers run on Detective Comics, because the animated series adapted a lot from Englehart and Rogers Batman, and that's where Rupert Thorne comes from.
And that's where we get Matches Malone.
And that's where Matches, I'm pretty sure that's where Matches Malone comes from. And Matches is in the animated series. And I love that little detail of he would have to pull off some crimes to maintain the facade. So he would just steal from himself. I think that's such a clever detail. Like, so that Bruce is technically not, I mean, he's committing a crime, but he's not really hurting anybody because he's stealing from his own company.
But like, let us not forget that hunting down people and causing physical harm because you believe that they are committing a crime, like being a vigilante and doing vigilante things, is also a crime.
Yes, that's true.
Just saying. So
Super
there's
illegal.
clear evidence that Batman is like, you know, the law is that he has his own moral code, which is more important to him than simply what the law decrees. So
yes.
Yeah, I'm surprised we left out Matches Malone, because
Me too.
And that's it's interesting because whenever Matches Malone is written, I get the sense that Bruce has fun playing this character, this role, in a way that he doesn't with others. Like being this, because let's be honest, Matches Malone is not a villain. Matches Malone is a mook.
Yes, exactly. He's a henchman. He's yeah, exactly.
He's a lackey. He's a
lackey. Yeah.
And Bruce absolutely just totally gets into the role. And that's, it seems almost out of character, because it's not just him completely hamming it up, but he kind of does a little bit. And, it's not just about achieving the goal in that particular instance. It's also about, I get to, match Malone, because, with the cap and the, the popped collar, and oh my goodness, it's just, the cheesiness of it is absolutely delightful.
It really is. It's another sort of, and I don't know if this was conscious on the part of the writers who created the Matches persona or not, but it's a callback in a way to Sherlock Holmes, because Sherlock Holmes would also appear in disguise from time to time during his adventures if he needed to find out more about a case or something, and that also seems,
the wax and the spirit gum.
Yeah. And that seems like incongruous with Holmes's usual character, who's very restrained and very sort of self-contained, and does not seem like the kind of like the sort of ham that you would have to be to do that sort of thing. And yet he does it. And as Watson describes in the stories, like he's really good at it. He can completely disappear into a character and literally be a different person when he is in disguise. And Bruce does the same thing as Matches, and we've seen him adopt other disguises throughout different stories as well. And it is like it's delightful, and you see like he has this other side of him that is somewhere in there that you would never, like, if you just saw Batman being Batman and it was just like, oh, I'm Batman, like you wouldn't think that he would also be able to adopt these totally different personas and pull it off, and yet he does. Like it's a really, I'm surprised that we forgot about Matches too, because he is such a fun,
Delightful
yeah,
character.
very much so, very much so.
So our apologies, and thank you so much for the reminder.
Next comment is from Cast Iron Chaos, who says, suggestion for next time, the many capes of Batman. My favorite Batman cape was what I call the impossible cape, the cape that's about 100 feet wide and would be impossible to handle in reality. Yeah. And, one of my favorite little trivia bits about Batman's cape, and because of course when you're talking about like animation or comic book art, you can draw the cape as big as it needs to be for whatever kind of effect you want to have. But in the movies, the live action movies, there are always multiple Batman capes, and it depends on what the needs of the scene are. So if it's a scene where like Batman is maybe like he's crouched and the cape is over his shoulders or something, they have a cape for that looks good for that. If he's in a fight scene, they have like a shorter, kind of a narrower cape, so it doesn't get in the way as much when they're choreographing the fight. Like,
but it has to be out of a fabric that will move well.
Yeah. So, my least favorite Batman cape is his cape from Batman Begins that turns into a glider with the touch of a button. I just thought that was so dumb. I was just like, oh God, just let him have a cape. But and they kind of got away from that, in the subsequent films. But yeah. He is not just a man of many masks. He is a man of many capes.
So 2 things.
Yes.
I actually use that as an example in my lesson on characterization, which didn't make it into my characterization video, but when in talking about this reminded me of it, in talking about how what we wear shows who we are. I point out that a long cape means you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
So like Darth Vader, long billowing cape.
Yeah.
And then even Snape, when he's introduced, he comes in and his robe is essentially used in that way. And it's the other characters are not described in that way. And like there's they may not have done it for this, but when they went from Batman the Animated Series to Batman and Superman, there's like one image of them back to back, and it's in my head, Batman's cape is longer than Superman's.
Mm-hmm.
And so Batman is a hero, but he is a dark hero. And he has, in his motif, in the image that he presents to everyone, that there is something villainous and dangerous about him. And that long cape helps to show that. Whereas Superman's cape typically stops at the knee or at best mid-calf, because he is a hero. And heroes have short capes. So it's just really interesting to think about that. And my students are always like, I mean, it's adorable how much that one teeny little detail blows their minds. And then second, I wanted to include that because I have to have the reference, no capes.
I knew you were going to do an Incredibles reference.
Because it's so good. It's so good. And that's why Batman has so many capes.
He needs them.
One cape by itself causes problems. And when you move from this situation to that situation, the cape that works in this situation is a bad idea in that situation, as is shown by the fact that they have different freaking capes in the freaking movie, depending on what the scene needs. So Edna Mode was right.
Also, I just thought of this too because I made fun of Batman's cape turning into a glider in Batman Begins.
Mhm.
In a previous video in this series that we are doing of comment responses, when we were talking about someone asked the question, someone proposed that Batman Forever was the best non-Nolan Batman movie, and I said Batman Returns was way better. There is a scene in Batman Returns, of course, where Batman lifts up his cape and it turns into a glider, right? Um, I submit that that moment works, and I like that moment. Whereas I think that the cape glider thing in Batman Begins is dumb, because in Batman Begins we're supposed to take it seriously and think, oh, that's awesome. His cape turns into a glider, and it's not. It's dumb. But in Batman Returns,
I think it's dumb.
Batman Returns, because Batman Returns is secretly a comedy, it's supposed to read as an absurd moment of
Huh.
because his cape, we see him walking around in the cape. He doesn't change capes between shots. Like, it's obviously not a glider. Like, that shot is Batman in Batman Returns. That's Batman doing, and there's no explanation given for how the cape can turn into a glider or how he could have hidden a glider like underneath that cape. It's completely absurd. There is no way that could actually happen. That is a comic moment.
Steve,
That yes, yes.
magic.
Yes, bat magic.
Batman is secretly a wizard.
He's a
He
wizard.
he went to Hogwarts. So
Yes.
the secret to writing a Batman movie that Steve, or creating a Batman movie that Steve will enjoy, is just don't take it seriously.
Don't take it seriously, or if you do take it seriously,
Write a
like,
good movie.
write a good movie. I mean, I do think it's important. Like, I do think I appreciate it when Batman stories, whether they're movies or whatever, when they acknowledge the silliness. And I mean, and I think in a if you're trying to do like
How
Christopher
can
Nolan,
you say such a thing? Batman has depth
yeah,
and complexity.
well, but see, that's the thing is, like, in the Nolan movies, especially in The Dark Knight, which is for me easily the best of them.
Yeah, yeah.
It does take the character seriously, and the character does have depth, but there are also little moments that acknowledge the silliness, usually like from Alfred or from Lucius Fox, that sort of let the air out of the balloon a little and let the audience know, like, hey, like, we want you to invest in this, we want you to care about these characters, but we know that this is kind of silly, you
Is that the
know?
one with the blackmailing scene?
Yes.
Okay, I do like that scene.
Yes, that is a really good scene.
I don't
Um,
know if it's enough to forgive the whole Batman has a girlfriend thing, but that's a really that's a really good scene. And Morgan Freeman with the brow lifts, and good luck with that.
Good luck.
You know, and,
Yeah.
and he's laughing on the inside, and his delivery is so good. I mean, because of course it is, but I mean, I want to clarify that it's good even for Morgan Freeman. It's that good.
Yeah, it is a really good scene. And Morgan Freeman has enough. I think I told you about this one too. In the scene where there's a scene in Dark Knight where Bruce, because in the Nolan version, Lucius is also like the guy that builds all of Batman's stuff and
Yep.
gives him his gadgets and stuff. And so Bruce goes to Lucius and says, "Hey, because he needs a new Batman suit." So he goes to Lucius and he says, "Lucius, I need a new suit." And Lucius kind of looks him up and down and says, "Well, 3 buttons is a little 90s, Mr. Wayne." Because he's looking at the suit that he is wearing, and it's, yeah. And Bruce is like, "Ha ha 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 ha! Make me the suit.
Because he's an ass.
Just make me a better Batman suit." Shh, shh. Did anybody hear that? I don't have a Batman suit. I, Bruce Wayne, am not Batman. Ridiculous. Make me the Batman suit. Gotta go. Next comment is from Chris Handy, who says, on the topic of voicing, it seems that Bruce should be in a retail customer service voice. And that's kind of like how Conroy does Bruce in the animated series. It's a very sort of high, pleasant,
Yeah, easy to get along with. Hi,
Yeah.
how you doing? It's so good to see you again. What did I just watch? And I remember thinking no, it was when we watched Firefly. And I was like, that's not the way you make small talk at an event. Like, you don't say, hi, how's it going, as you pass by.
Oh, right when they were at the ball. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, you don't exchange like that's that's literally rude. You don't, you know, now to some degree, like if it had been made clear that he was pulling her along because she's there as his plus one, um, but I at that point you just sort of wave, like
Yeah.
saying, "Hi, it's so good to see you again." You stop to say that.
Right.
And Bruce would be like, "Hi, it's so good to see you. Hi." I like literally I can feel the tension in the upper, you know, the different part of my throat.
Yeah.
It's my I'm talking to parents. Hi, this is Mrs. Cole. It's I just wanted to introduce myself here at the beginning of the semester. Were you able to get the email that I sent you? If not, is there an email address that I could send that to? Because I'd really like you to have the information about our class. Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to a great semester.
Yeah. That's your Bruce Wayne voice. And and that we have, I wish I could remember his, I think it was it
Oh, it's the voice that we didn't get to use because the last time we tried to do the robocalling, we actually didn't get anybody. But like,
yes.
hi, this is Dana, and I'm calling on behalf of the Bernie Sanders, Raphael Warnock, whoever the heck I'm calling for this time campaign. I just wanted to let you know that early voting starts at this date, and it shows that your polling places at this location. We're really looking forward or no, what was it? This election looks like it's going to be a close one, so we really need your support. Thanks so much, and have a great day.
There you go. And as long as
Too. You
yes,
did
I
it.
did. I did, of course.
Well, no. I not just mean that
Yeah.
you did it, but like I could hear you would smile when the line clicked in. You
Yeah.
always smile because it you could hear it in the voice.
Absolutely.
And so the key is with Bruce, he's doing it in person.
Mhm.
So you can't have that big smile all the time. Otherwise, you start looking weird, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just interesting to think about,
Yeah.
the customer service because I don't know. I'm the sort of person that I just want to leave the customer service people alone. I know they're exhausted. I know they're dealing with people who are assholes, and I just want to give them some quiet time. So I try not to deal with them any more than I absolutely have to, and I try to be very accommodating if I can. Hi, how can I help you today? It's all I need. Okay, well, thanks so much. Look, is there some way can I talk to a manager and give you like a 5 on something? Well, we don't actually have a customer service feedback survey, but thank you so much. I'm just like, your job sucks. I'm so I think of Bruce in customer service mode is just like, no wonder he says, I'm not Bruce, I'm Batman.
Right.
Bruce Wayne sucks.
The voice thing too, I want to make sure that I want to point out, because I don't think we mentioned this in the original video, but and of course, I mean, one of Kevin Conroy is terrific as Bruce and as Batman, and one of the great things that he does is differentiating those voices, so that
Yes.
Bruce's voice is totally different from Batman. I mean, not totally, you can still tell it's Kevin Conroy, but it's he's in a different,
noticeably different.
yeah. And that sort of that precedent was established way back in the 40s with Bud Collyer, who was the voice of Superman. He's probably better known to us today. He was the voice of Superman in the Fleischer Brothers animated shorts. But before that, he was also the voice of Superman on the radio. And he realized, because radio is an audio only medium, and
Yeah.
people are he can't just use the exact same voice as Clark Kent and Superman. There needs to be some kind of indication that he has changed into Superman. So he came up with the idea of doing Clark Kent in kind of his upper register. And I don't know about that, Lois. We better be careful, And then when he turns into Superman, that's when he goes, this looks like a job for Superman. He gets down lower for Superman. And that's what Kevin Conroy does with Batman. He does the exact same thing, where Bruce is up here. Hi, everybody. It's me, Bruce Wayne. I'm Batman. Like that's the change.
But it's not quite as, I mean, because that's what a lot of the movie actors have done. They've done the very breathy. Kevin Conroy's voice just drops.
That's true.
I mean,
he doesn't.
It
Yeah.
drops. He doesn't do the breathy thing that a lot of the, and I think that's part of what contributed to my crush on him, which I've had for like decades.
Your Conroy crush.
I'm serious.
I'm Batman.
Oh,
How's it going?
it's a nice attempt, and I
I
appreciate
know
it.
I'm no Kevin Conroy.
You're not Kevin Conroy.
I've had to live with that every day.
Well, I mean, so do I. I'm not Kevin Conroy either. Okay. Thanks for reminding me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dana.
But yeah, it's just he's got. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's good.
But I
Yeah.
know I will also add that there was back when shortly after the animated series finished, I think, but it was maybe not. But no, I think it was when Batman Beyond came out.
Okay.
There was an article that ran and it had a picture of him. And I'm like, fuck. I mean, he is not even as like an older guy, like in the Crisis series that they did. He's a good looking older man.
For sure.
But this was like 20 years ago. And I'm just like, holy God, dang, how is he a voice actor? Like this is like if Shamar Moore was just a voice actor. And then you see a picture of him, you're like, what the ever loving
what's the story there? You know, I'm glad you said that, because that reminded me. I don't think I've ever told you this, but because you know, because Kevin Conroy, he has done, you know, non-voice acting. Like he has done on-camera acting, much more well-known as a voice actor. But one of his earlier roles was he guest starred in several episodes of Dynasty. And he played the boyfriend of Stephen, who was the gay son of the Carringtons, right? And I don't know if they were never like,
I wasn't allowed to watch this kind of thing.
Well, see, and I don't.
I missed out.
Yeah, so it's.
I think I could manage Dynasty.
Oh yeah, I was watching. I went through it on Amazon Prime like a couple years ago. I just watched like all of Dynasty, and it was a hoot. It's such a fun show. But when it's Kevin Conroy, and he just kind of shows up, and it's like, and I'm like, oh, that's Kevin Conroy. Kevin Conroy's in Dynasty. That's awesome, right? And he's doing basically the Bruce Wayne voice. Obviously, and I don't know if it's because he was younger and that was more like his natural voice, or if and it's not exactly the same, but it's really close to the Bruce Wayne voice. So it's like Steven's boyfriend is Bruce Wayne. It's so funny to watch it, knowing about Batman the Animated Series, to see like, good for you, man. Good for you, man. You're dating Bruce Wayne. That's awesome.
I mean, we realized you couldn't land him.
Yeah.
But it's okay. We know the real reason, and you know it's not you, man.
Yeah, he had to go back to Gotham. He had stuff he had to take care of.
I mean, when he said it's not you, it's me. Trust me, he was right.
Yeah. Oh no, it's totally me, dude. It's totally me. Yeah.
That is hilarious. Like, oh, honey, there is so much you don't know. Oh my God.
Next comment is from Superb, who says, alternate video title, Holy Cow, Batman. Very nice.
It's so, yeah. And also it connects with the previous comment.
Indeed. And our even more previous warning to viewers that if you don't dig puns, you should probably just move on.
You're in the wrong place.
Here's the next one is from the Analytical Engine, who says, I've wondered whilst watching this video, are there other staff working at Wayne Manor? That place is much too big for just Alfred, surely, though more modern versions of Batman might have some robots to help out. It's not as if the Waynes couldn't have afforded, say, a cook or some cleaning staff, etc. I think we have seen, again, it depends on the story. I feel like there have been multiple indications that there are other household staff that work at Wayne Manor, just nobody consistent. Like Alfred is the only sort of consistent supporting character that has been carried through every version.
Yes.
You know,
I think at one point there was housekeeper. Not to the point of being a steward, but yeah, I would think a housekeeper, a female household manager.
Well, there was in one version, I know, because I've thought about I've thought of using this character in our fanfic in some way. There was Mrs. Chilton, who was a housekeeper. That might be who you're thinking of. Who was a housekeeper who was a housekeeper at Wayne Manor. I think for a time after Thomas and Martha were killed, but while Bruce was still growing up. And she kind of helped Alfred look after Bruce. And her terrible secret was that she was actually the mother of Joe Chill, who had murdered his parents.
I may be remembering her from our conversation based in where we wanted to go with our fanfic universe.
Yes.
So that's why the name sounds familiar, because we've talked about it.
We talked about it. Yeah.
So
yeah.
But yeah, it's I can see it being something that they essentially call in a cleaning staff from time to time.
Yeah.
I don't think there would be any need for a cook since just the two of them.
Mm-hmm. Or three of them if there's a Robin living there at the time. But yeah.
Yeah. But I can see Alfred being as paternal as he is, being the one to take care of the feeding.
Yeah.
Although now I'm picturing, I'm getting a domestic story in my head where whoever the Robin is just like, can't we just, or it kind of gets it in, whether it's Dick and he misses like the circus food, or it's, one of the other Robins and they're just like, regular kids get like McDonald's.
Right.
And so, Alfred does the McDonald's run. I think that would be a really good story.
Yeah. Me too. I like that. Yeah.
Whereas, it's not like this. It's not when he asks for it, but it's like, he makes sure that Bruce is training and, let's make it Jason, that he has absolutely made sure that Jason is taking care of his homework. No, I don't know if it would work with Jason because Alfred ain't gonna leave him alone. Maybe it's Tim.
It could be Tim.
And Tim is using the computer because, of course, his dad, he could be staying with his dad, but he's over there. He's using the computer to do some research for a project. And Alfred's like, okay. And he goes on a burger run and he comes back and Bruce is just like, but he doesn't say anything now. And Tim's like, oh, what was the name we came up with the name of
Burger Fool.
Yeah, he's like,
that's what I was thinking of that. That's what you came up with for your story. I love that. Burger Fool.
No, like literally I looked it up. What is McDonald's in the DC universe? I looked it up.
Oh, that's a real thing? It's in the comics? Yes. Shit. I didn't know that.
I know. I looked up what it was because they also have whatever their cola is. It's not Coke. It's not Pepsi, but it's something else.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what it is?
Not off the top of my head. No.
But yeah, they have their own DCU version of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Burgerful, and Tim's like, and like he does the thing where it's under the silver lid, the silver dome, and he pulls it up, and Bruce is like, he pulls it up in front of both of them at the same time, and Bruce is like, this is not what I was expecting, roast pheasant maybe, but okay, I can go with this. And Tim's like, oh, Burgerful, Alfred? He's like, well, Master Tim, I went on an errand run and it was on the way. And Bruce at that point speaks up and says, there weren't any errands that were on the schedule for tonight, Alfred. And Alfred says, there was one.
Aww.
Alfred's just like the best.
Alfred's the best.
Like so much fun to write.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that's a story and I don't have to write it.
It just exists in our minds. Next comment is from Tessera, who says there is an excellent documentary called I Know That Voice, produced by John DiMaggio, that includes interview footage with Kevin Conroy and how he developed his Batman Bruce Wayne vocal dichotomy. I have not seen that documentary, but John DiMaggio, another absolutely fantastic voice actor. He's probably best known as doing the voice of Bender in
Yeah.
Futurama, but he also did the voice of the Joker in a couple of the DC direct to video movies, and I don't think he'll ever be as well regarded of a vocal Joker as Mark Hamill, but he's a really good Joker too.
Yeah,
So
I've seen some of them when I'm like, that's not Mark Hamill, but it's still it was still really well done. It's probably him.
yeah, he's really good.
So if you know where we can find that, please put it in the comments. Because that was my thought. I was like, oh, this sounds really interesting. I don't know where to find it. Does this person know where we can find it?
Yeah.
So if you're watching this and that was your comment, please tell us where we can find this because it sounds interesting.
Yeah. And here's another comment from Ewan Smith, who says, Batman, Bat Punch, Pow, Nightwing, Dick Punch, Thwap. Yep.
I work with teenagers and that was funny.
And you know what the best part is?
What is the best part?
The best part of all, Dana? That was the last comment.
I'm a little bit sorry that I chose so many because
you saved the dick punch for last.
That was so thoughtful of you, Steve. We get to end on a high note.
Let's end on the dick punch one.
And do you know why? Because I can't do it.
You need to say what you need to say now. You need to pull yourself together and say it.
You know where I'm going with this, right?
I want you to say it.
Because the dick punch makes you hit the high note. I'm literally crying.
Well, this has been fun, but Dana.
Wait, Steve?
Dana?
Steve, why are you using the past tense?
Okay. That the comment that we just responded to. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The dick punch
The
one.
joke. Ah! Okay, that was a great comment. What's next?
Well, that's the dick punch comment was the last one.
For this video, right? Then we're going to do the next one.
But you remember I said that won't be for a few more months because we need to do other videos for people to comment on before we can do another comment response video.
But what are we going to respond to before then?
Well, I don't think we're going to respond to anything before then.
Then there's nothing.
Not for right now. No, we're done for right now. There won't be any. No, Dana.
Yeah.
It's listen.
I'm listening.
It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's okay. It's not just going to be okay. It's okay right now. Everything is okay.
Right now, I want to comment.
Dana.
What? I'm fine, okay? I'm like, there's nothing wrong. I'm just expressing my displeasure. It's the fact that we don't have comments to comment to, respond to. I'm just displeased. That's all. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. See, I'm smiling.
Okay. So when we end,
long time. What's the next video?
well, if we keep to our usual schedule of doing videos together like this, we'll probably do another one of these in about 2 weeks. And then every 2 weeks after that. And once we get maybe, what do you think, 3 or 4 of those done, then we can do another comment response video.
It's like a whole month before we get to do another comment response video.
Well, probably more like 2 or 3 months, but I mean,
2 or 3 months? Do you know what that is in 2021 time? That's like a decade. You know, folks, if you leave a lot of comments on these, I bet we could do a comment response to the comment responses. I'm just saying.
Okay, no, let's not do that.
We could we could have a commentception.
Yeah, that's like an Ouroboros. That's like, I mean, if we keep doing, because we do comment responses to a comment response video.
Steve, what if somebody says something really clever? You wouldn't want to just like ignore that and leave it out. You don't want to ignore your viewers. These people who care, who listen to you and care about what you have to say and what you think.
Do you know what I want to do right now?
What do you want to do right now, Steve?
I want to do what is best for you. And I think, despite your protestations to the contrary, that you have a problem.
Yes, I do. I have a problem. I do.
Okay.
The problem is there aren't more comments. So what you can do is leave comments that say things and just your observations and what you think. I want to know what you think.
Okay. So, okay. You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do right now for you, Dana? You know what I'm going to do?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to enable you.
Really?
Yes.
How so?
I'm going to enable you.
Empower me and enable me.
Yes.
Go for it.
I'm sure. I'm going to say, yeah, absolutely, folks. Leave comments on these videos and leave comments on all the rest of our videos so that we can do comment responses even sooner than a few months. How about that?
That sounds lovely, Steve.
Okay. I'm glad that makes you happy.
I love comments. And I swear I don't have a problem.
Okay. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad that you don't have a problem. So you want to, shall we say goodbye to the people for the end of this episode?
For the end of this episode.
For the end of this episode.
Time, everybody.
Yes.
Which won't be long.
Sure.
Bye, folks. I really, seriously, I don't. It's okay. I'm fine.
So yeah, she's fine. She's fine. She's fine. She's not fine. Bye, Avery.
Hey, I am fine.
Yep. Yes,
Bye,
indeed.
everybody. And really, in all honesty, thank you so much. I've enjoyed this as long as it's taken us. I really enjoyed it, and thank you so much.
Yes, and we are definitely going to do it again soon. So thanks for watching. Thanks for the comments, and bye, everybody.
Bye.